the most merciful, who is also the most, also the source of peace. As promised yesterday, today's talk will be on my idea of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement with the Middle East Economic Union. Please do bear with me for my voice today. I think I'm catching the flu and the throat is a bit sore today. I would like us to understand what a comprehensive peace agreement for the Middle East means. To me, all the 15 countries and territories, which includes Israel, Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, Yemen, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, are all part of this agreement, and they all form a security pact similar to NATO, guaranteeing each other's security. So if you have guaranteed each other's security, that means you are not going to attack each other also, and a commitment for that. Would be underpinned by the sponsors of the agreement or the promoters of the agreement, whatever name we should give them. That would be the preferably members of the United Nations Security Council and the people most affected by the Hormuz and the Persian Gulf closures, which in my opinion are the United States, China, Japan, India, and Russia, some of whom are also members of the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. It would be a pact. Each of these countries, they say we are having, it is a multipolar peace between all the countries. It's not bilateral, it's a multilateral agreement for all the countries. And they will also do something else, is that they go into an economic union which ensures free movement of capital, both physical and financial. People have different talents, and there are countries which have more populations than others. They can move and they can work in industries in the other countries, and goods and services produced in one country are able to be sold in another country free of barriers and tariffs and taxes. They would have a common external tariff system, while internally they have tariff-free movement. This would be the sweetener to ensure that there is no rogue behavior by any party, because of the interconnectedness, both in terms of security, in terms of economies, will be there. There are countries which are oil rich in that region, like Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Kuwait, maybe Iran also, Iraq, and the others which don't have resources. They don't have oil, but they have other resources, human resources. The human resources will create a self-built environment, industrial environment, services-based environment, and agri-based environment, which would also work towards the goal of food self-sufficiency within this 15-member bloc of countries and regions. And there will also be free transfer of technology and know-how. Like Israel has great hardworking population at Tech Silicon Valley. It also has great agriculture in arid and semi-arid areas through drip irrigation. This can be transmitted to countries like Oman, Saudi Arabia, which are large in, and they can do zero grazing dairy cattle, beef cattle, using zero grazing and growing grass and then irrigating the fields, which are currently fallow lands, open desert land. Also, we can date palms can be grown, which is already being grown. Palm oil could also be considered. Coconut palm could be grown. Maybe rice using irrigation on the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers in Iraq. The technology could be used to ensure that enough grain is produced to feed the entire region. The focus will be a region, the 15-member regional focus rather than individual national focus. There are also other methods of growing vegetables and fruits and vegetables in the Mediterranean coast, including in the coast in the Yemen and whatnot, could Yemen, Israel, Palestine, Gaza, and those areas. We could be growing figs, olives, grapes, and ensuring food self-sufficiency. Only because the food will be able to move freely within that 15-member block of countries, tariff-free. The cost will remain relatively low. Then there will be the hydrocarbon industry. The fertilizers could be used to regenerate the land. Previously, it was historically it was known this land was green and fertile, but due to soil erosion and those things, it led to desertification. We can reverse the desertification and we can grow trees and do a deforestation program so that that area can also be receiving rainfall, because it's basically how you use the land. It will take maybe 2 3 generations to reach that level. The hydrocarbons and then service-based industry like tourism right across from the Red Sea coast to the Arabian Sea coast, even to Iran area can all be a tourism destination. Even desert tourism could be there, heritage tourism, especially in Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, Syria. There are places of historical interest which could have heritage tourism. Of course, the religious tourism will also be there, because this region will be host to Jerusalem, which should become an international city under international control of all the 15 member countries. It becomes like the Brussels, where they could even have a elected parliament for the Middle East Economic Union, MIU, centered in Jerusalem, where they make the common laws similar to the European Parliament, or even in the East African community, there is the East African Parliament in Arusha. It could become something like that. It will definitely have heritage tourism, because Muslims all over the world, Christians from all over the world, Jewish people from all over the world will regularly come to Jerusalem. And the holy sites are holy sites. Temple on the Mount, where the Al-Aqsa Mosque is there, and the Dome of the Rock is there. People can come in and for tourism, for whether Christians, Muslims, or Jewish people. And in Bethlehem, Nazareth, where Jesus would be lived and walked the streets, Christians would be the biggest people who would come, because they follow Christ, but Christ is also respected by Muslims and Messianic Jews. And the other prophets of Israel, like like Dawood, Prophet David, Prophet Solomon, are also highly respected figures. Prophet Moses, the Ark, maybe, I don't know. According to my understanding, the Ark is no longer in Jerusalem. The Ark is taken by Solomon's son with the Queen of Sheba, and it is today hidden in a secret place. Well, the place is not really secret, but it's in Ethiopia. But it's not a commonly known fact to Christians and even ordinary Muslims, and even the Jewish people. It was taken away before the second temple was raised down, where what we call the scrolls of Abraham are there. What we in Muslims we call them Suhuf Ibrahim, and the tablets which were given to Moses, the Ten Commandments are there, and other artifacts of David and Solomon are there, which are important to both Islam, Judaism, and possibly Christianity. Yes, there would be. They don't need to really fight over it. We can all go to that place and worship in our own ways. We can have a mosque, we can have a church, we can have a synagogue there. The temple, we can all worship in our different units, prayer halls or prayer units. One of the examples I would give is today in Israel, in a place known as Ascalon. Actually, it was formerly used to be a monastery. Now a hospital is built, but and we might say it is sheer superstition or something. But even the Jewish people sincerely respect that site as a healing site. It was having healing properties. The monks in that monastery used to heal people. There is there is a box which people touch. Even doctors today in that hospital in Ascalon, they touch it before. Some of them even on a regular, every day whenever they come, they touch it before they start the day's work. Surgeons before major operations, they touch that box. That box was the box where the head of the grandson of the Islamic Prophet, who was beheaded by the tyrant Yazid in Karbala, in the banks of the Euphrates. His body is buried there. His head was moved all around the then Muslim Empire, the Caliphate. When it came to Ascalon, it remained there in that box. It is like we cannot say a superstition, but a belief is there that shifa or healing comes from there. This includes our former Prime Minister of Israel, fairly recently, when he was going to have his double bypass operation there in that hospital in Ascalon. He also wanted to test the box before he was operated, and the doctors also had to touch it, and he asked for the intercession of the grandson of the Prophet, Imam Hussein ibn Ali, alayhi salam, for his intercession, and he is a grandson of the Islamic Prophet, but even a Jewish Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, actually he's not the current Prime Minister, he's not Netanyahu, came and he has a belief that healing would come to him through Hussein's head. So we understand we all have our beliefs, but we also should have mutual respect for each other. The Jewish people are our brothers in the Abrahamic faith. Even the Christians are in a similar way, like in the town of Fatima in Portugal. Mother Mary came to three shepherd children towards the beginning of the 20th century and gave her prophecies. And that site is also a healing site. Mainly the Catholics go, but even some Muslims have gone there for healing. So it does not mean that we are going to be quarreling or disrespecting that site. We need to understand that we are all brothers in the Brahmanic faiths. So let us go for a comprehensive peace agreement for all the countries of the Middle East, especially the belligerent countries which have fought before: Israel, Iran, Palestine, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Kuwait, Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan, Oman, UAE, Bahrain, so let us, this Friday and this weekend, today is holiday for Muslims, tomorrow is the holiday for our Jewish brothers, it's the Sabbath for them, and also of the SDA Seventh Day Adventist Christians. And on Sunday, it's a blessed day for our Christian brothers. So let us invoke for the help of the patriarch Abraham, who is the Prophet Moses, and to Prophet Jesus, and to Prophet Muhammad, to give us the blessings for the Middle East economic union and a comprehensive peace agreement for that area. This will also release the United States from maintaining a naval base or a military base in the Gulf. Also, the military aid it gives to Israel and the budgetary support it gives to Jordan, Israel, due to the peace agreements they have signed with. So they are released from that thing as the area becomes prosperous due to the peace and the economic union. So let us all be for the comprehensive peace agreement. Thank you.